Hi again. So I just reviewed the first post and I'm a little bit more rested and have been in Germany for a little bit. I'm actually sitting at the airport in Berlin waiting to go to my next leg, which is Cyprus. And I'm hoping to be there for a while. But the crazy thing that happened, excuse me, while in Berlin was God had led me to this devotional. I use YouVersion all the time and read devotionals and use the Bible app and whatnot. But in this particular one, and I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, it had talked about your Christian community. And the gentleman that wrote it talked about a story about a guy that would come to church every single Sunday, and he would sit in the back and the top, and he really didn't do anything to commune with other people. He would go to church and then would leave. And then one day he ended up in the hospital, and I guess he came back and he's like, I'm quitting this church. I'm not going anymore. I was in the hospital and nobody bothered to ever visit me or come see me. And the gentleman telling the story had said it was his own fault. He never reached out. He never tried to make any community. Well, my thoughts with that is knowing what I went through. It was a huge step for me to even attempt to go to church. I was that withdrawn. Finding community was hard for me. And that's where I think the sense of people reaching out is necessary. I just think that we as Christians should pay attention to our surroundings and to other people. And you would be surprised, even though somebody may not seem receptive or not always kind of want to talk or let you in. It's a very real possibility that the fact that you tried was what is going to open that door for them to start interacting with other people. And we just have to be patient, but I just don't think that we should give up. Granted, I know that I had to do my part as well, but the fact that somebody reaches out to you and checks up on you, whether you're at that moment in a place that you can talk or not, it's the fact that somebody's trying to reach out to you that makes you feel comforted. You may not be able to share, but I can't stress how comforting it is. I mean, on this journey, of course, I've gone through a lot and so many changes and so much healing, and I praise God for that every day. But knowing when I have no Wi-Fi and then all of a sudden I open it up and there's my friends or my family or my community, hey, just checking in, how are you? Or the emails, when I was doing the emails, and people would respond back to them. Like, they didn't just read it, not say anything, but they actually responded back. And the fact that they took a moment out of their day to respond back just was encouraging all the way. And this part is even a bit tougher. It's, not always been great. I've slept on the street a few times, but God had a plan for that, because I met a stranded traveler and I had all the essentials. I had, a blanket, I had food, I had that stuff, and I just freely shared that with them. So that was God's plan, and through that, was able to see how God worked. But to bring it back, my point again is, please always be very cognizant of the people around you, because please understand that, yeah, if you approach them and they don't see receptive to your approach right then, it very well could be that, and I'm not saying in every case because I can't speak for everyone, but just don't stop trying. I'm not saying being a pest or a nuisance, but find a simple way to let that person know that you're thinking about them. And one of my favorite ways is, I'll just send a quick message and say, hey, I'm thinking about you. And I'll do this to the people that I met along the way who have asked me for my WhatsApp phone number. And by the way, to my friends and family and Christian community, if you don't have my email or whatever, you can ask, what is WhatsApp and how do we use it? Because that is actually a way that I can talk via video or over the phone when I have a Wi-Fi connection. And it's always great, like I said, to get messages, encouragement, prayers. Not just for me. I've got an evangelical list that I'm creating. And so I have others that I'm praying for as I go that I meet. So planting those seeds along the way. So just remember, please, be aware of the people around you. If you see them that they seem to be withdrawn, do your very best to make a connection with them, because ultimately that will hopefully help them to learn to start making connections with other people. And, as a Christian following Christ, plant those seeds. Let people know that you care all the time. All right, I'm going to let this one go. I love you. Mwah. Thank you. And make sure that you keep sharing and watching and subscribing. You're the best. Bye. God bless.